Hello there. Welcome to Rise and Receive, a reset point in your day where you get to explore how to receive what you most want by unlearning struggle. So today we are doing part 2 of a 3-part series on how to receive, I should say simply receive, beauty and well-being. And this is going to be, I think, a really illuminating topic for anybody who has beauty and well-being goals, because we're going to talk specifically around the question of how do I? Hi, Kaya. Hi, Ruth. Great to see you. So how do I? That's one of the most common things that arise. This is one of the first things that arises the moment we've identified a goal, a wish, a want, an aspiration around anything in life. But today we're going to focus on beauty, health, and well-being. Once we decide that we would like to change or improve something in our lives, then the next question is, how do I? So how do I, right off the bat, has a built-in blind spot that most of us fall sort of at the mercy of. I don't want to say victim to, but we kind of do, because blind spots by definition are things that we can't even see unless somebody points it out to us. So I'd like you to think about a goal, an outcome, a place where you'd like to experience greater fulfillment around beauty and well-being in your own life, and then sort of lean back and see if what we're going to unpack today around this particular blind spot speaks to you. I'm going to give you a clue, and then we're going to deep dive into it. So the blind spot is what I call the judgment blind spot. And it specifically deals with when our brains approach goals through a right-wrong lens. So as we dive into blind spots, I think a good place to begin is to talk about what is a blind spot. So I define a blind spot as when your current point of view hides an essential insight. And because I'm all about teaching people the very tangible skill set of receiving, I identify or define a receiving blind spot as when you are operating more as a human doing versus a human being. So what does this mean? Well, we like to feel powerful. I mean, that's a very human thing. Like, how do I feel powerful? How do I make things happen in my life? And we are well trained, validated, and valued when we are operating from what I call the doing model of power. And the metaphor for that is the hunter, who does a whole lot of thinking and takes a whole lot of action and has a goal and a target on the horizon, and it sets an intention and it goes after it. We know how to do that for the most part, okay? What we are less familiar with in our culture and across the planet, depending on who you're talking to, is what I call the being model of power. And the being model of power is that experience, that embodiment of easy, reasonless, unconditional receiving. The metaphor for that is the majestic tree. The majestic tree is present, planted in its space. It doesn't figure out anything, examine, strategize, set goals, hunt or pursue or take any action. It is present right here, and it receives all day long simply because it exists. Imagine if you could touch into that aspect of yourself, because receiving truly is the most natural thing in the world. We are born with the capacity to receive because we are born with the capacity to be. But if we have lost our way around our being, our essence, and we've been validated and valued for what we do and what we produce and what we achieve, we get a sense of value from that. And then this being aspect of our value gets malnourished. And for many of us, it can be completely absent. So that's what we tap into here, is how to be, how to receive that model of power. And when you touch into that, then all kinds of things become possible, because the doing model can only take you so far. And if you are experiencing some sort of an inner glass ceiling, or what feels like a permanent plateau, or like it's like there's this invisible thing between you and your beauty and wellness goals, then you might want to consider that receiving is the skill set that would really work to expand upon. And that's what we're going to do today. So on to the judgment blind spot. So because blind spots by definition are blind to us, we can't see them unless someone points them out to us, I always like to give a clue so that you can start to pay attention to, oh, maybe that's going on for me. Maybe that's what's in the way. So a clue to the judgment blind spot is when you are looking at things through the right-wrong lens. So in the physical realm of the hunter, right and wrong is very important, because if you don't have the concrete skills, if you don't know the linear next steps, A plus B plus C gets you to that destination, it could really produce, you might not be able to get what you're hunting, right? There's a very tangible skill set. It's very linear. It's very analytical. So we look at things through right and wrong. The hunter values productivity, performance, producing, providing. All of that has some systems and analysis and intellect and action in place, and we use our 5 physical senses. So that's great if you're using the hunter model and you have a very clear intention. But if what you need to do is in the realm of consciousness and simple receiving, judgment doesn't work. It actually causes resistance. And so that's when we want to move into the world of alignment. Alignment opens the flow gates, whereas right-wrong thinking can actually cause stuckness. All right, so let me talk a little bit more about how this works. When we are in judgment, and we are either looking at something as right or wrong, and we do it so automatically we don't even realize this. Here's what happens in consciousness, because the receiving model of power acknowledges that your consciousness creates your reality. The cause of every effect in your physical world begins in consciousness. So when we're looking at right, wrong, and this is really, like I said, it's so deeply ingrained, we will look at, let's say this is a very common one, you want to lose weight, okay? So your mind now in hunter mode is looking to solve the problem, because that's what the provider does. It sees everything through the lens of there's a problem, I need to fix it or solve it. So if everything is right, wrong, then what happens is if I lose weight, I must be doing it right. If I don't lose weight, I therefore must be doing it wrong. And the truth is that any exercise plan, any diet plan can work. But if it doesn't work for you, if it generates resistance because it's not in alignment with you, then any diet plan in the world is going to be a problem, because you have to be in alignment with it. And because you're looking at it through the right-wrong lens, every time you feel unsuccessful, unable, you're going to not only think that the diet plan is wrong, but that you're wrong. You are doing something wrong. Now, if you're looking at yourself as wrong, then you're going to start to try to fix yourself. Okay? And if you're fixing yourself, that means that everything about you, your body, your health, your beauty, your well-being, how you're eating, what you're moving through is always seen through there's a problem. It's like these glasses. Problem, problem, problem. Everywhere you look is a problem. In consciousness, if you are fixing problems, you will manifest problems. There will always be a problem to fix. So do you see how that gets you stuck? You are going to manifest pursuing, manifest hunting, and manifest I'm always fixing problems, because that is your consciousness. However, if you start to look at what am I in alignment with? What feels good to me? What feels light? What feels easy? What works with me, my body, my relationship to food, my relationship to movement? How can I be in alignment? And you go on that path of discovery. Then you are going to receive, because you're now opening the flow gates and there's no resistance, the insights, support, awarenesses, everything that you need to move down the path of well-being, so that you're feeling good about your body, you're feeling good about what you're eating, you're feeling good about your exercise. You're going to find your way and open the flow gates. And a really good example, I've seen this happen with so many of my clients around this topic, is a lot of times I'll attract clients who have been, they've tried everything. They've tried diets and they've tried exercise plans and they've tried everything, right? And there's so much resistance because there's so much, what's the right way and what's the wrong way and this isn't working, problem, problem, problem. We move them into an alignment orientation. And then they start discovering, well, I'm going back to this eating plan that I used to eat. Now, is that wrong because it's a diet, it's a plan? And what I always say is, to the outside world, it may look like you're following a diet, okay? But what's different is where you're coming from. So if you're coming from alignment, it feels light, it feels good, you're going to open the flow. If you're coming from there's something wrong with me or my body or this eating plan and I need to fix it, it's going to generate resistance the moment that it doesn't feel any good, okay? So you can find an eating plan that you're familiar with or unfamiliar with, but what's much more important than is this the right one is how does this feel? Keep checking in with yourself to find that alignment. Then you will open the flow gates and you will receive everything that you need in amazing ways, and not just awarenesses and the how-to, but also, and this is what's really fun, your whole body will start to align with things that feel good. So whereas before, let's say you wanted to give up sugar and it was a battle because it was right and wrong and resistance based, all of a sudden, maybe not all of a sudden, maybe over time, the desire for the sugar falls away, or the desire to eat, I don't know, something that you judged as healthy before because it was the right thing. It just feels better. So that's what happens. And I can attest to it myself in my own journey with food and eating and body and eating disorders and healing from all of that, as well as many clients that I've worked with. Resistance just creates battle. Alignment allows you to receive that which feels good so that you can have the body you love and love the body you have. All right, so I hope that this is helpful. I want to read now a little segment from the Receive Oracle card that highlights this. So this card is called Receive Beauty and Wellness. And here's just a little taste. If you want the whole card, I'll include a link to that video. Your body believes you and manifests the exact experience of my body is not okay. I must fix or change it. This will continue for as long as you believe it. However, when you shift your consciousness from a fix-it approach to a fulfillment approach, you will begin to receive not only wisdom and resources that will answer your how-to questions, but you'll also create a harmonious space for your physical and non-physical self to embody joyful fulfillment. So as always, there's a willingness mantra at the end of each card, and this activates the power of invitation. Remember, the hunter is intention-oriented. It knows what it wants in its mind, and it goes after it with its action. The being model of power, the majestic tree, is invitation-based. We focus on the essence of what we want, which is alignment, what feels good, what feels lighter, and the form shows up. So with willingness, it's one of the most powerful ways to activate the power of invitation. So if you are interested in this area of life to open the flow gates, you can always use this mantra. I am willing to feel great in my body under all conditions. You can say, I am willing to feel great with food under all conditions. I am willing to feel great in my activity level under all conditions. I am willing to feel great when I look at my reflection in the mirror, when I'm wearing clothes, under all conditions. Remember, every goal you have or have ever had is for one reason only. You're chasing a feeling. If you have beauty and wellness goals, it's because you want to feel great in your body. You want to feel beautiful. You want to feel well. You want to feel healthy. You want to feel good. So we focus on the essence. We invite that first so that the form will come, and it will. But if you focus on fixing yourself and you're focused on outcomes, like I talked about in part 1, then you're going to be chasing problem fixing until the cows come home. So invite instead how you want to feel, and notice if there's certain things that trigger you. Do a willingness mantra around that. If it's when you look in the mirror, if if it's when you step on the scale, if it's when you eat sugar, you feel bad and you only feel good when you eat vegetables. Right, wrong thinking. It'll stop the flow every time. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. If it was, please like, please share, please click the red subscribe button on YouTube. It helps me reach the people that I'm here to serve. And if you would like to pre-order your very own Receive Oracle cards, they are coming out in April. And if you pre-order, you will receive a gift bundle from me valued at $69, which includes 4 of my most popular classes in MP3 format and a companion workbook. So you can access that right away. Go to receiveCardDeck.com. You can pre-order there, and I'll keep you posted on other goodies that are coming down the line. Also include some other resources to low cost and no cost opportunities for you to keep learning how to really open up to the very natural, simple, and powerful skill set of receiving. It is simple. It is easy. It's just not that familiar, which is why we need to practice and keep showing up for ourselves. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you at the next Rise and Receive. Bye, everybody.